Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live.
Hi, Jontel.
Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Hello, everyone, my YouTubers, my IGers. How's everyone doing? This is Tuesdays with GroupMates. Oh, I changed it to Meet the GroupMates. That's what I changed it to because it's going to mean something later. I wonder if I should say Meet the Gems.
Yes, Meet the Gems. Yes.
I like that. Yes. We cooking.
It's a gumbo.
Huh?
It's like it's a gumbo. It's a stew.
I love that. You know, years ago, I must have been in the 11th grade, maybe younger. And my teacher was talking about New York being a salad bowl, right? And something about it, New York being a melting pot. And he said, is it really a melting pot? And I said, no, it's a salad bowl. No one loses their identity.
No. No.
And so when you said gumbo, it's like the sauce is psychic, but everything else is coming in with their own identity. And that is amazing.
Yeah. The beans are different from the rice. Yeah.
And you need the fish part. I don't care what type of fish you put in it. Like it's all just popping.
Yes.
And that's what the Gems is.
We are.
And so everyone, can I give you a real name?
Yeah, you can, or Cola.
Huh?
Cola.
Okay, so this is Cola. And she's part of the group that we all belong to. And we meet every Wednesday. And we do all types of spiritual communicating, right? And identifying and validating, right?
Yeah.
A lot of what goes on in a group is, hey guys, how do you feel about this? And I don't care what the topic is, we can go on and on. That group, I have to go to bed in the group.
Yes, you do.
There's just all these dynamics, and y'all be popping, after hours. It's almost like group meets after hours because y'all be popping.
We do. And you know what I love about it, Tracy, is that like someone will say something and then you may not know anything on it, but you're going to walk away learning.
Yes. And I also like the way some of the groups are coming through with their individuality.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have a lot of galactic interests. And then Brett comes along and Brett is like, girl, I'm feeling you. I'm like, oh, they get each other. Right? And Joan loves angels. And Marie is so good at the African dysphoria. The knowledge of it, right? So I just think that you all, I love that. It's a gumbo.
It is.
Yeah. I'm very honored to have you guys stick around. And influence. And at some point, I don't think y'all know this because I haven't announced it yet, right? But y'all are teaching the teacher.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, because you are a good teacher. You really are. You're the teacher that is you walk that balance line of you are soft when you need to be, but then when you need to be firm, and not in a bad way, but sometimes you got to correct, and you can do that, and then you're also humble about it. So it's good to hear that we also bring value to you, because ultimately that's what a community of like minds, not hive minds, like minds do for each other. We build, we add to the gumbo. And so thank you for that.
Add your own little flavoring and spice to the gumbo. Yeah, as of lately, it's been a beautiful experience. And I was wondering, like, I was questioning God. I was like, what am I doing? Am I doing it the right way? Like, am I doing it the right way for you? Right? I wasn't sure. You guys didn't know this. I was just going through my own thing. And I was like, am I doing it from my ego? This is like 4 years ago, because group's been going on for forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I doing it for me? Is it about me? And I really was like, I don't know if it was spirit, or I was like, just stay with it. It'll make sense later. Just stay with it. And today, it makes so much sense. Like, it's just the right porridge.
Yes. Yes.
It's the right gumbo, and it's ready.
It's ready, yes. And anyone else that comes, you're just what are you putting in there? Andouille? Okay, come on in, Andouille.
That's right.
Got some Scotch bonnet? Gonna be a little spicy, but bring it on in. You know what I mean? Like, and the good thing too is that whenever there is energies that enter the space, that enter the group, that we all are like, we are observed. It's not, we're gonna attack. No, we're gonna give you the opportunity to be you in this space. But we all have our boundaries.
Spiritual boundaries, especially.
Our spiritual boundaries.
Spiritual boundaries are everything.
Yeah.
Like, for me, everything. So if you don't have the correct boundaries, it can disrupt the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've experienced that too, but the good thing is that it was a peaceful parting. Well, peaceful for us.
Well,
and
it's not even like, it's not even necessary to speak, right? But it's I think what you're trying to say, if I can paraphrase for you, is that one of the reasons why we're getting there is because of recognizing the necessity for certain spiritual boundaries.
Yes.
Right. And correcting it, and then wishing for auto correction, right?
Yes.
If I say something to you, Cola, right, I'd like for you to go away and think about it. Right. And then say, oh, okay, wow, that was uncomfortable. Once you get the aha moment, right? That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
When you get the aha moment, right? I had it happen to me recently, and I don't see, Aoife Shea and I had a conversation, and I had to get to my aha moment. But I got there.
Yeah. And when you get there, it's a comfortable place to sit in. It's a comfortable place to be in, and you reflect. You're like, okay, yes, I see it. I saw how it happened. I saw how I got from there to here.
Yeah.
And you're a mature spiritual adult, so then you move forward with grace and light.
Oh, grace and light and discipline, and still wanting more growth to come from you. Like, none of us will ever get there. We're
Mm-mm.
not supposed to ever land at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
If you land at the end of the rainbow, you gotta go, right? Then
Yeah.
God needs you.
There's another rainbow that you gotta go navigate over. You're like, oh, that one's neon.
You got to start over again. You might want to go to another country and start
Yeah.
this all over. My point to you is
Mhm.
it's nice to keep, and I want you to remember that too. And anybody else that's in just stepping into the spiritual world. I love your name, Seductive Curve. That is cute. I love names
That is a
because
cute name.
I'm looking for names for my my candle business. And so I'm like, oh, that's such a great name. How did that person come up with that name? Not that I need your name. I can't need my name my candle Seductive Curves, but it's a nice name.
Mhm.
Um, my point to you is that there's nothing better than continuous growth. There's nothing better than wanting uh, continuous growth. But I have to tell you, part of growing is maturing to the point where no one can compromise your spirit either. That's a
Mhm.
beautiful place to get to.
That's
And with
yeah.
that being said, I was telling one of the other group mates that I've been watching you grow. How long have you been in a group?
Oh wow. This is gonna be almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, like a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
Or is
Mhm.
February 2 years? You remember you came in February
Oh,
or?
February 2 years because you started book club in February of 2020. And I've been in since then because I remember I wanted to get the earlier one the year before. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to go on a cruise, and then when I came back, you announced it again. I said, "Okay, Spirit, thank you," because I was like, "Oh, Spirit, I'm gonna miss it." And I wasn't new, like Tracy. When I say I was just stepping in, I was just stepping in, and I was getting ping, ping. Like I never watched YouTube. And
Mm-hmm.
one day I'm on Instagram, and I tell you this all the time. I'm on Instagram and I'm on the shade room, and it was a comment. It was about Supa, but someone in the comment was like, "Didn't that psychic say that?" And I was like all of a sudden, literally all of a sudden, I sat back at work and I was like, "Who's this psychic? What?
Yeah. Who is she? Who
Who
is
is
this
she?"
masked woman?
And I would listen, but everything you said, I never had people to talk to about it, but I would see things on like I'm a very audio visual person, right? When I see things, I get hits, and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Move on, like I'll scroll real fast. And whenever
Yeah.
it came to Supa, like I loved her makeup stuff, but there was always something that was like, this doesn't feel right. I
Yeah.
can put my finger on it. And then I saw that,
Yeah.
and I just went in search of you. And I remember from then I was hooked. And what it was like not realizing what Spirit was saying to me.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit was like, this is your direction. This is where you're going. I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought I was just watching you because I was like, I loved who you were. I loved like you were validating my inner feelings. And then
Yeah.
one day I got my first like download. And I was
Ooh,
like,
the download. Yes.
okay. And I heard myself saying, okay, okay, like responding. I heard the noise go off, but I heard a voice and a no. I was like, okay, responding. And I came out of it like, what just happened? But then the things that I
Mm.
heard and saw happened.
Mm.
And I was in work, and all of a sudden the I took an exam. I was the last man on the list, meaning I had the lowest score, passing, but the lowest score. But I was one
Mm.
of three that was eligible for promotion, and the other two had
Mm.
already gotten it, and I was going to get this one. And then
Right.
that happened, and then the other thing Spirit said was going to happen about my private boss.
Mm.
And all of a sudden one day I'm at work in my new position, and I heard, say less, sit back. I was so scared, but I
Yeah.
just watched a movie that I was shown play out over, and I think I've shared it with
Yeah.
you guys. And And I said, all right, if I'm going to be here, I need teachers, because I'm a person who values learning from people, because
Yeah.
people teach you, but they show you and they guide you, right? Instead of going out there and just finding things on the internet, and then coming to realize later that that was actually putting you in more karmic trouble than you needed to be. But I started praying, meditating, and I was like, I need a guide. I need a teacher. And every day, all of a sudden, ping, Tracey Brown, ping, Tracey. I was like,
so funny.
Okay. I said, all right, I'm picking up. And the more I watched you, that's when I heard about the tarot class. And I said, okay, Spirit, I understand. And I've been saying, okay, Spirit, I understand ever since.
You know, it's amazing to be disciplined to Spirit, and to understand that when you are disciplined, the miracles just pop up. The miracles, when you're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when Spirit says something silly, like, no, don't wash clothes today. And you're like, I got up to wash clothes, Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, all right. Even today, I wanted to go walk, because you don't have to walk everywhere. And I want to go walk to go get, you know, a snack for after dinner.
Yeah.
And even when you're debating, that is a clear sign of Spirit. When you keep debating,
Yeah.
it's almost like, don't do it. Whatever it is you think you want to do, stay home. So I kept debating. I was talking to one of our group mates, and I I was like, I talked myself out of it, right? I was like, well, I just really need potato chips, and and sometimes it's sweet. And then the group mate, it was Ifashe, it was like, she goes, oh, once in a while. And I was like, no, every night. And she goes, yeah, that might be a problem. I was like, right? Right? And I just talked until I decided this is what Spirit is saying. And because we're in the Omicron experience, and maybe Spirit was saying, you're going to run into the wrong guy, and I'm telling you to stay home.
Or when Spirit's like, go out, go, you're going to do this. And you're like, I just don't feel like it. It's raining. Spirit, COVID, I have a surgery. And Spirit's like, but you bought the outfit. You're going.
And then you meet someone.
Right? Or
by the way, you are going to be a magnet for men. You are. Get ready.
Girl, I'm calling in the right one.
Well, my mom used to say you have to kiss a lot of lemons. Just know when a lemon shows up. When a lemon starts to squirt that sour stuff, and I mean his personality. I know this kind of started getting a little weird there. I mean, that's when you have to say, you are blocking my husband.
Yep.
So please leave.
Like, you know, bye.
I decided today that maybe the Caribbean men don't know how to date.
They don't. I saw that in the feed, and I was like, I couldn't respond because I was in a meeting. I was like, they don't.
They don't.
What do you mean, dinner and a movie and flowers? If I come over, you're not gonna cook? You're like, no. See, you're not the prize here. I am.
Oh, hell no.
The difference is, and it's, and just I'm gonna touch it real quick. It's when you look at social poverty in the islands, not economic poverty, social poverty in the island. A lot of women, our education is sacrificed, and our ability to position ourselves to better provide for ourselves. Sometimes it's hard, but you have those women that push through, the shopkeepers, the women at the markets, the women at the crafts, with every, you know, they are the ones that they work hard. Like even, you know, something as simple as the woman pushing the cart selling juice on a hot day.
Mm-hmm.
She is making income. Like I've seen what those women send their kids to college.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's
Yeah.
there's a generation there where the men have always seen they are the prize. They bring home the bacon. So you're courting me because it's you and how many other women. Now we're like,
No, it makes so much sense because I can't tell you how many of these men say, call me,
mm-hmm,
call me later, call me. I'm
mm-hmm,
like, why am I calling you? I don't understand. Why
mm-hmm.
am I calling you? I don't
Like
get it.
calling it for what? You mean,
I
oh,
don't get
you're
it.
gonna call me?
Yeah, I mean, I say that too, but I'm just looking at the pattern that's going
Mhm.
on, and I'm like, what's happening? But it's a Caribbean thing, I believe.
Yes.
And so I'm learning their ways, but they got to unlearn some damn ways because
Mhm.
I don't chase. I've never chased. I don't even know what it feels like to chase. Like,
Mhm.
yo, I'm an independent woman.
That's why when my friends are like, I
So,
met this Jamaican, I was like, okay, so when you say Jamaican, you mean his family's Jamaican, or he's like, and
or is he still
I'm
over
gonna
there?
get into that, right? Or is he still there, or is he like fresh
Still
off the
there.
boat? Like he's been here for a year, 6 months. Oh, he just came. Mm-mm. I was like, this is not relationship. This is just have fun with him. Don't
Yeah.
you have a level of like here. You have a level of
Yeah.
expectations. It's not going to be mm-mm.
Yeah. And so I just decided that, I don't know, I'm just going to observe more and
Mhm.
figure it out more, but
You know, Tracy, you'll find them because you know there are those men there that maybe you know once you're comfortable, just get a
yeah.
better lay of the land. We're
Yeah.
what restaurant do I go to, right? What
Yeah,
side of the
right.
island do I hang out at? Because those men are there. You're just
Yes.
not. If you're local, if you are, it's not because of how socioeconomics is set up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find them in the streets every day. A Saturday, hey, let's go here.
Hmm.
Friday night, let's go do that. Let's go to that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, and I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm just saying I'm noticing some things and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
huh. Okay, because in America, which this is American, I'm so sorry, Caribbean, but you know, they at the very least they do chase over there. The quality isn't good, but they will chase.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What topic are we gonna discuss?
So I wanted to talk about how Navient got sued, and
Navient. And Navient
Navient
is
they used to be well, not that they used to be Salome. They're under the Salome umbrella. They are the student
oh
loan
Salome. Yes.
providers for a lot of American students. So they
Mm.
got sued by state and federal government. So
Mm-hmm.
and basically they have to pay back $1.85 billion in
Mm-hmm.
student loans. So they're going to be forgiving up to
One
60
point
up
up
to
to what?
66,000 borrowers. They're going to be forgiving their loans, but they're going to give restitution as well to 350,000 federal student borrowers, right? So
And what
it's
does restitution mean?
they're going to have to pay them back. So
Oh,
they're gonna have to pay
that's
people back
nice.
money because of their like predatory lending practices, right? Um
Yes.
and those people who call you and like, oh, you can't pay your bill. Okay, well you can go in forbearance for 6 months and then you
Yeah,
can
no.
extend it and you can extend it and what they're not properly informing you, right? It's like the fine print. the more they extend you, the higher your interest rate goes. So a loan that probably starts at 50,000, you leave school, especially if you left school around the time where we had that really bad economic recession.
Yeah.
You know, people weren't finding jobs in their field. So
yes, that's right.
I saw that, and all of a sudden it was like, is this going to lay the field for the federal government themselves actually just forgiving debt
Yeah.
all across the board?
So what's the question?
So the question is this will the outcome of this lawsuit, this successful lawsuit, will the outcome be the springboard the federal government needs basically to start forgiving?
So will the federal government start forgiving loans?
Yeah, and not just public sector loans, but like if you like, doesn't matter if you work for public sector, just loans.
But some loans come from banks, though.
So
are you including that?
So a lot of people have, yes, Spirit said yes, we're including that.
Okay.
Spirit said yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with those type of loans too, because they're going to follow the lead of the federal government. So yay or nay, there if one gives, the other one would have to give. They would have to, or people need to demand it. Okay, let's look. So will the federal government forgive loans? Okay. This is really an exciting part that something new is coming to light, right? Because this ties in with the changes with Uranus and Taurus. So although this is shocking financial shock, in terms of, wow, this could happen, we have to give a lot of this credit to Uranus and Taurus. Yes,
we do. Uranus and Taurus, I find, has been kicking open a lot of doors.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so also a thing about me too is that Spirit talks to me in song. And the minute I say kick in the door, it's like the Biggie Smalls song. He's like kicking the door, waving the 4-4. It's like Uranus and Taurus came in, gangster, was like, handle me.
Yes. So let me see if I can get this on real quick. Hold on. Whenever I do this, I screw this up. So I don't even know why I'm trying this. Where's my phone? Okay, hold on a second. Don't leave me. I'm right here. You're still shuffling, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I need to see. I just want IG to hear it. And I'm wondering if I can get everything on at the same time. A new Bluetooth. This Bluetooth is horrible. Hold on.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Let me see. Say something again.
Hello.
Oh, it's soft. It's soft, but they can hear you.
Okay. All right. I'll try to talk a little louder. Is that better? Okay. If I speak up?
Yeah. Let me just make sure YouTube. Big Papa, don't hit me no more, says Beautiful Conundrum.
Yes.
Can you guys hear Cola? YouTube and IG, just sing something. Sing that song again.
Oh, yeah, okay. So all I know is kicking the door, waving the 4-4. All I hear is Papa, don't hurt me no more.
Okay. So I don't know if IG can hear you, but YouTube can hear you. So IG, if you want to come over, come on over. Right. Let me put my earpiece back in. Oh, wait, I need it. Okay. So, see what happens? Okay, good, I'm back. Yes. So, will the federal government forgive the loan? Are you ready? Because I'm going to put you on solo.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, hold on a second. Solo layout. You go, girl.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm using the Tea Leaf Oracle deck, Moonology, and my old school, just regular tarot. But so the first cards that came out, right, is happiness. And right here we have these birds, right? You look at these birds, these are us, this is the people, and it's like this is the sun. So right now, is there a potential for the government to finally take this opportunity and move in that position to forgive student loans? Yes. The next card is a parrot. So someone will gossip about all your secrets. So we have more secrets coming out about lenders. This is what this is saying to me, right? This parrot is like the court recorder. So we have more. I feel like we only heard the judgment, but we didn't hear how the lawsuit came into being. So I feel like this is going to have a lot of impact on banks that give private loans, or companies like Sallie Mae and Navient that also do, our private loan lenders, and also people that you reconsolidate your student loans with, right? Your federal student loans, because there it is. Because, like when you get federal student loan, they sell it to these people to collect the monies, right? So we're going to be hearing more about that. And that's potentially, right, how the federal government will then have the leg to be able to forgive loans because they sold them in the first place. So the next card is Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. I feel like, yes, any endeavor that they start will be successful, but also too, I feel like a lot of people have trudged through this valley of repayment, of debt, of starting out with 50,000 and ending up with 100,000 and having to compromise their life, right? So this for me talks about like, the personal strength that we've had to get through these lending practices, and basically how we make the least but we pay the most is the energy I'm getting from this. And yet again, right, you have the sun, it's setting, but the sun is still present, showing hope. The next card I have is the Flute, disappointment in a friend or lover. So I do feel like whatever the parrot is going to tell us, whatever we're going to learn, I do feel like it will cause us to be disappointed yet again in the government, right? We go back to Uranus and Taurus and Uranus and Taurus. It's removing the veil, it's peeling back the onion, and that lover that was as sweet as a fresh rose is now wilted, and we're looking at the government like, damn, so you're saying I could have just paid you my money and not having to pay all this interest, or at least a small amount of interest, but not having these predators on my doorstep, these debt collectors on my doorstep, ruining my credit. I could have been able to start businesses sooner. So, I feel like this too will have to force their hand in doing better going forward. That too is going to have to force their hands to give the people what they want. The next one is Cobweb. So it says protected from negative forces beyond your control. I do know that there will always be people fighting to not have debt forgiven. But what this is telling me is that this is like a spiritual web that has been thrown over all of us, right? It's not just, we're going to see this in all areas. The housing market too, in housing, banks who lend to people with a certain criterias, and then all of a sudden things change. Your car, right? Like, why am I paying the interest off before I pay the principal? Like, we're going to see, this is going to cause such a shift, but I feel like we'll be insulated from the negativity, and the people and things, the people, places, and the things that need to change. They're the ones that are going to have to change, right? We're the ones within this protective web, and spirit is changing the structures that affect our daily lives. And the next is firecracker, excitement. So for me, this is a yes, right? This is a yes. They're going to work on it. They're going to try to get it done. But does it necessarily mean it's going to be done? You know, right now we have excitement that something is coming through, something is being done. And from the sense of the firecracker, this is something major, right? This isn't just legislation going through. This is legislation passing. Okay, how does that affect me? Is it going to be half my debt, all my debt? Am I going to still be, you know, do I still need to make a certain amount of payments and then the debt can be forgiven? Like, but better than what they have now for the public service forgiveness program. I feel like whatever they put in place needs to be better than that, right? Nobody wants to wait 10 years or however many payments. I feel like they're going to want people coming out of school to be out of debt in 5. So by the time they hit they're about to hit their 30s, right? That debt is cleared off, and they're, you know, on their way forward to jobs that are prosperous. So they're now adding to the economy, not in the form of debt, but in the form of positive dollars. Right? People aren't worried about working on paying off debts. People are working on, okay, I can now buy this house and have it paid off in like 15 years with this plan. Okay, I could buy this car and pay it off. And like, the more you pay off a bill is what they're showing me, the more steady income now you have back in the positive, and the more you can buy, the more your capacity to spend grows, is what I'm seeing. The next card I pull is from Moonology, and it is New Moon in Scorpio. So this is saying work through your fears. This is a fearful time, right? But one thing I've learned recently is that Scorpio is one of the oldest astrological signs, right? And so to get this, especially with a new moon, it's saying that, you know, don't give in to fear. Like I always say, don't give in to fear. Fear is the mind killer. And what this is giving me is it's you will sit in fear because you don't know what is to come. When you get a new moon, it's the black moon, so you don't know if it's there, you can't see it, and you don't know what's to come, right? Until you start walking into the full moon. And as you walk through the full moon, as you walk from the new moon to the full moon, right, you're changing, you're growing, you're evolving. And this is saying, you know, so too must our practices change, grow, and evolve, right? So we can't give in to fear. Government can't give in to fear and be like, oh, what if this is going to do this and this is going to affect the economy this way? It's like, no, you don't know that. You're just so used to the old model, the old way of doing things, that you can't move forward. And then we have a new moon, a new start is coming. So this for me is yes. We will definitely see a change. We will definitely see the government making the decision that this is best for the economy. This is best for the American people. And we may see new financial systems come in place, is what? Like new kinds of bank, new kinds of lending, the old archaic things are going to be done with. And this one says, have faith in your dreams. It's the waxing crescent moon. For me, yes, I think this is going to free up the people that have been in the valley, the people that are getting excited, and the people that are protected. This is gonna, this waxing moon, have faith in your dreams is saying, and it's like for everyone across the board, as they change their archaic system, so too does our life change. And so it's time to start looking at those dreams you've had, looking at the goals you've had for yourself, or, you know, just looking at what you've always said, Lord, if only. It's almost time for you to have that, Lord, if only. Okay, that's it for now. All right, 1 minute, sorry. Okay. You just got to pull one card from this deck. All right, this is the 6th, and it says, it is what it is. And I laugh because there is a portal here to a door. Let me get closer. You see the portal around the door and the energies around it? This for us, and I feel like this is for us, right? This is for the people. Change is happening around us constantly. It's like on the spiritual level, the change that they're working on, what they're doing, we're starting to see it, and we're about to see it now in this time, in this space, in this dimension, in this realm, right? Uranus and Taurus is literally a gate. And have the courage to face your dreams no matter what they are, you know, because we're in a time of anything is possible, and it is what it is. Push through, you know, put the work in, and understand that the more that spirit and the universe sees you working, the more they're going to match your energy. It's like a 401k plan. If you put 3%, we may match you or go higher. I swear to God, my spirit. All right, Tracy. Oh, wow. All right. That's it for me, Tracy.
Okay. I'm a little delayed so that I could hear you on my phone. All right, but I'm also starting to lose battery. I love when I do this stuff and I don't have any of my devices charged. All right. I'm getting the Wheel of Fortune, so things have to change. I'm also getting the 5 of Discs, so it just feels to me like there's just a lot of wasted money, right? I'm gonna take this out right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's just a lot of wasted money, right? And I think what I was getting was, does the American politicians care about the American people, right? Like, I'm asking, like, you give money to Afghanistan, you give money to Israel. Like, we've got student loans. and we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we don't need this shit anymore. We don't need this bullshit anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like it's going to be that movie, Dog Day Afternoon, or maybe that's not the movie, but it's like, I just can't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're forcing so many things during the pandemic, maybe to, if we believe we're financially solvent, then why should we take the loans away? Because we're making you believe we're financially okay. You see what I mean? The red, like, hey, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a job and this, that. You know, I heard that we were going to go into an endemic, which means every man for himself, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think an endemic is going to make people crazy once they realize, wait, you still want us to work, bust our ass, pay our loans, not give us gas, food shortages, and I just think it's a recipe for American disaster.
The tower. Mm-hmm.
So not only are we entering into an endemic, we're entering into people just losing their minds,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at the question like, are they going to make a decision, right? Yeah, they're going to be forced to make a decision, but I don't think it's going to be the best decision.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be on top of many lies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're not, let's do this. And it's just another one of those, whoop, no, you don't see it. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
took care of you. I even think the Navient is part of, which I'm sure was a long lawsuit, but I think it's one of those things where they're like, speed it up because we need to distract America.
Mm-hmm.
Speed this settlement up. So I feel like they went to Navient and they were like, look, you don't have no choice. This is what you're going to settle for. And it was like, settle so that the American people can believe that some of you all are going to get your money back or loans forgiven. But Navient is just 1/4 of the loans that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see the trick that's out there? Hey, everybody, Navient. And then you go to look and you're like, I'm not with Navient.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't include me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think there's going to be some trickery. Ultimately, there's another offer coming. So I think it's going to be more than one concept of breaking down the student loan system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So there might be, before Uranus and Taurus is over, there might be either 2 more or 3 more settlements for the American people,
Mm-hmm.
right? By the time we get to the last one, people are going to be like, take it and shove it. Like, we don't believe you,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it's going to come down to people saying, no, we're not going to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem to understand what we're talking about. Not going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are going to be less and less scared of their credit. You know, oh, they're going to come after me. How? How are they going to come after you? Right? I think by the time the third solution comes around, people aren't going to be working the way they were in 2019.
No, they won't.
So you're going to take what from me?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a system in place where even if they compromise your bank account, they can only compromise it, but once every 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like, I think people are going to take the risk.
Yep.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's going to be a revolt.
Yeah.
If they don't listen to the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Biden, listen to the people. like desperate times call for desperate measures. Somehow or another, they have enough money out there to send every single address 2 to 4 home kits.
Where'd that money come from?
We're in an endemic. So we're in an endemic. Forgive my student loan. Spend that money well, not sending home kits. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that, you know, I when I saw it, I said, well, yeah, people were spending more money because they had the resources to spend, that they weren't like, every month I have either a $500 student loan bill to pay, or depending on, right? So people are like, we have that extra income, and that is only for people whose jobs weren't compromised, right? Those people whose jobs were compromised and they had student loan bills, they weren't out there spending extra money. You guys raised the prices on stuff, so it looked like we were spending extra money. And I think, you know, that's why, like with the cobweb, I feel like, to your point, when you said we're going to revolt, we're like, we are protected. Like we the people are protected. You guys aren't. Everything that you're doing is basically, like you say, it's up for psychic review. It's up for spiritual
and that they
review.
Created this cobweb.
They casted it over us to trap us, but what you really did was, in the long run, you're protecting us, right? You know, and this goes back to, honestly, Tracy, remember when we talked about the beginning of COVID, how we, like, it's like spiritually felt like your door was marked with the lamb's blood for protection, right? When you look at these situations, especially when I'm looking at the cobweb and I'm looking at the firecracker excitement, that's why I was like, it's like either good excitement or bad excitement, but it's excitement. We're seeing where in major areas people are the ones being protected, and it's the institutions that run our lives or tell us, oh, this is what you need. Like cars aren't being made, right? Those nice, expensive, like, started from the bathroom and have the heated seats go, like, they don't have the components to make these machines. But yet still you employ people and you can't afford to pay them. So those people aren't taking the risks to go into your factories. Or there's issues with shipping now. So even if what you needed to build this car is on a container and a ship, it can't come in. And because you're going to be paying like extra taxes, now you're going to tap that on. So people are.
To your point, the little. The little chip, literally, that now runs a car, is sitting on a ship somewhere.
Yeah. So I do think that I feel like this is just the start, and it's showing you the cracks. Then it's gonna be the wound, and then it's gonna be, okay, we can't fool these people no more. Because like you said, they're gonna be like, wait, what? So I'm not with Navient, and then, oh, okay, what's the other big one? But I'm not with that one either. Like, what are you gonna do, Mr. President? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think it's gonna get to the point where people are gonna be like shutting down. They're not gonna pay these loans. And does it ruin the economy if these loans aren't paid?
No, because you could put people, and that's one of the complaints, right? How Navient would have people go into forbearance and extend the forbearance. Well, forbearance is you're not paying any money. You're not paying the interest or the principal. So people aren't paying it anyways. What was the impact to the economy then? For this past year when they said halt on paying all student loans, somehow states were getting more money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're seeing now, wait, there's money here. You could take care of this. You're choosing not to.
I think once people, I think once people understand that they're being taken advantage of, I think once they understand that prices to college has been risen like since the mid 70s, early 80s. It used to be free.
Yep.
I think once people recognize that they've been had, and I think once people get angry.
Like, it brings me back to what Beautiful Conundrum said to me one day. She's like, everybody that's in the Senate, in the House, and on the judicial board, everybody that went to college in the 70s, 60s, 70s, they didn't pay student loans. 50s, 60s, 70s, they don't have student loans because college was free. It was paid for by the state.
No.
You know
I
what I mean?
remember. Yes, I remember when I paid $25 of credit. And that was just before it was free. You know what I mean? And I remember, you know, I'm aging myself, but I remember getting a student loan for $2,500. And it damn near covered 4 years, but it didn't have to cover 4 years because they didn't want you to cover it for 4 years. So they would give you $2,500 a year. You pay off a year worth of schooling, and then they would give you the money that was left over. And you could literally buy a car with it, depending upon, well, I think the money depends upon you being 12 credits. And then whatever was over, we would pocket it and live off of it. And you guys don't have that luxury.
Like we have it, but it's a loan. We have to pay back. So you get your return. So when you apply for, because you apply on a federal student site to get aid, unless you're going to a bank and getting a personal private loan to pay for school, right? And when you get your financial aid, once they cover the cost of school, they give you that money back, but that's all wrapped up in your loan. Like I remember, you know, when I just got here from Jamaica, I literally did 1.5 years and then went to college, right? And if I knew better, I would have waited, so I could have truly like done something that I wanted to do, right? But it was like, you know, I did 1/2 year junior, 11th grade, then 12th grade. Then it was like, oh, we're going to college. I go, oh, okay, college. It was like, okay, college, right? But as an immigrant, I would say,
you got here in the 11th grade.
I got here in the 11th grade. I got here 1/2 year into the 11th grade. Yep. And I would say, wait, figure out what you want to do first, because you may think when you get that return at the end, like, you know, at the beginning of the semester, you're like, oh, this is my return from my student loans. I got like 1,000 back, 3,000 back, 4,000 back, depending on what you took out and what your needs are. You're still going to have to pay that back plus tax at the end.
Right.
So where we're thinking that's like free money, it's not. Right? You give that to an 18-year-old, ooh, that's free money. Spend.
I see how the system changed. They snuck that in because I see how the system changed, because that's the same system. We didn't have to pay it back.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And all those people that are making all these decisions in government that are affecting us, they're the ones that benefited from that past system.
Mhm.
So the change wasn't because the country needed it. That was big business yet again, right? You always see how your
Yes.
innocent horse is ripping up
They're
big
the
business.
ones that literally. Well, I don't. I think the change occurred when more minorities started getting their education.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One or two were fine, right? But now, oh wait, what was her address? Oh, and she's going to college on a free ride.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Tap and tell, Marino.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Tap and
Now I
tell.
remember.
Yep. The not so free money anymore. And then also too, when you look at colleges, like why is college so much money? When we know that salaries for professors aren't what's driving tuition. Everything is a market, everything is an enterprise. And I think you said it before, you're going to see more people opting out of going to college. We're going to see people opting to go to trade schools. We're going to see people opting to, like, you know what? I love to draw and I want a tattoo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like this opened the door.
You're right.
For the,
There's going to be. That's what I read. That there's less enrollment since the pandemic.
mm-hmm.
But I also think that these kids are not their mamas. Like they're not influenced the same way. I think they understand a different socioeconomic building, right?
Yep.
The internal can build, right? As opposed to go to school. That's what matters. And then most of us have seen, you go to school, you get an education, you wind up working seriously in a racist corporate society,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the value of everything that you've ever worked for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is it there?
Mm-hmm.
Is it there?
Yeah, it's not, and I think that
Like we're still struggling, and most of us are educated now, right?
yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
and
no,
we're
and I
still
get that.
struggling, and most of us aren't even using where we got our degrees in.
No, we're not. Or it took you how many years and probably going back to school a second time?
There's no reason for any college grad at this stage of the game to not have their wants and needs met.
Yeah. And it's happening. You have people, but the one thing that drove me nuts was when I was just out of college trying to find a job, and everyone was like, with your degree and your 4 years, you should be in a job that's like making you $50,000 to start. And I was like, so where are they? Because I've been searching for a year, and it's time for me to find a job now.
Yeah.
And so they keep a certain percentage of you. I do feel like this. This is why when I got my job, when we talk about path and we talk about purpose, right? When I started working at I call it my real job after like going back to school the second time. And I basically worked in an internship shop. And I had to go out and I had to recruit for interns. I had to basically sell the program. Like, I remember I was talking to this like really like smart group of young Black talented students. And I was like, you get 12 to 13 credits free. It's one semester. And the program is accredited. So that means that's one semester that you're not paying for, and you're not required to pay for the credits. All we want you to do is to sign up and go through the program and finish the program and be successful in the program. because it's also like a summer internship that is like an interview. And I would go out and I started I don't know if it was purposeful at first, but I would talk to anyone. But when I saw the students of color, black, brown, yellow, international students, and when I saw them picking up interest because I was at the table, I was a black face at a table where there's predominantly just white recruiters. And I would, and I'm like, nope, come on, I see you. I would draw them in. I was like, let's get into this internship opportunity. You know, I would say to international students, listen, you can't sponsor
for a whole semester for 12 credits to be taken off. That's
right.
huge.
And you do it for 13 weeks in the summer and you get paid. I used to sell the crap out of that internship. I was like, we're paying you, giving you credits, and it's an internship you can put on your resume. And sometimes, depending on what part of the internship you're doing, it can go towards whatever certificated program you're working towards.
Right.
I used to sell it. But I saw the value in it because it took me forever to get into a job that I was like, this is what I was supposed to be doing. And I only got in because my stepmom was like, I'm going to get you in. So, you know, you hear people talk about, right, the where you got to know somebody to know somebody. That system got to go, but it's still in play. But like it needs to be broken down as well, so that people aren't leaving school with 50 to 100,000 in debt, but the only job that they can afford is saying, "Oh, we'll pay you $14 an hour." And that's right now the system. I feel like that's the valley that we've been trudging through, trying to get to that sunshine. Like it needs to be better.
The final outcome is kind of like the tower for me, right? I pulled an extra card by accident, and it's like once the big awakening, right? First you have the big resignation, right? That's one shift. But the big awakening, people are going to just turn their back on all the rules. Like none of these rules are going to be able to exist. So it's really going to be interesting to see what happens. But, you know, I think that the world is being influenced by social media.
Yes.
I think that there's a whole new system that I can't fathom just yet. Like I can't see it, but Spirit is saying it's out of this world. Like it's out of this world. You're right. You can't imagine it, and I think we're going to settle in with. Okay, I'm trying to give a good example, but I don't know if it's going to make sense. It's kind of like the food shortage, right? Like if you continue to give us food shortage, then we're going to learn to make our own tomatoes. Well, people have been making their own tomatoes, no, but everybody's going to make their own tomatoes. Like people are just going to learn to live differently. That's what I'm trying to say. Differently. So it's going to be kind of like what's one of the biggest dependencies we have? One of the biggest dependencies is rice.
Yeah.
Right? Sugar.
Yeah.
Right? And as of today, still meat. Right? And I just feel like all of that dependency is going to disappear. It's like, you know, you keep showing me that this is a problem. So now I don't even like meat anymore. And I know it's already happening, but I'm saying it's going to happen on a global where you're going to start to go to the supermarkets and meat is just going to sit there.
Yep. because people
right?
can get it locally now. They know the butcher who gets it from the farm that's selling to them at a cheaper rate because it's farm
But,
to table.
but I don't even think they're gonna want it. I think it's gonna come down to, I don't know if I want meat anymore, right? And so I think it's gonna come down to, I don't know if I want my education anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like people are gonna say, no, that was your way. I think they're gonna look at my generation, they're gonna say, that was your way.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something sad in that, though, right? So I want to be very clear about what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe without higher education, we're going to have a land full of ignorant people.
But I don't think so. I do so. To add to what you're saying, right? For me, I keep going back to it is what it is. And then I pulled the 3 of coins and the Queen of coins. The 3 of coins I pulled when you were talking, and for me, it's like just because we don't want to sit in a classroom and pay you $10,000 a semester doesn't mean I still can't get the same education.
Okay, got it. And
right?
that's what I mean by it's going to be, we're not doing it your way. And I get the 3 of Pentacles as well. I think you're right. Maybe it's not about, I appreciate that, because maybe it's not about not getting the higher education. It's more about you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to get the education some other way until you listen to me. Yeah. That's going to come into the form of, do I need to go into school? Right? Who was the one that said it, that the universities aren't necessarily
yeah. One of our, oh my God, it's one of our group mates said that a lot of the universities send kids home.
Online?
So it's like, all right, so if I'm doing it online, I'm really only paying for the credits. So okay, I could work for the summer and save up to pay for 4 credits and go at my pace.
And that's what I think is going to be happening. That there's going to be a break in the system that led everyone to believe work hard, work. You know, get that degree. Spend $100,000. Oh, you mean you didn't get into the best school? Like, who are you? I think all of that is going to be like,
yeah.
And I think it's going to be a collective thought, right? I was talking to a client yesterday, and I used to work at Target. And I was always surprised when everybody finished shopping at the same time. They didn't even know it. It was energy. And so when you're at the front manning the cash registers, and a customer comes, you're like, oh, go to register 18, go to register 1. All of a sudden, the most amazing thing, you look behind, and they're all coming down like this. And what I used to see was zombies. They're like, oh, I'm coming down like this to get to the register. And then we had this huge, but to see it happening was crazy to me. To sit like, nobody gets sometimes what my eyes see. And I think that collectively, that's what's going to happen with the student loan. Yeah. The kids of today are going to shut it down. Yes. And the politicians are going to fight because they want the regular system to stay. But the kids are going to be like, And the system is going to be forced. This is a full change. And so the question still becomes, are they going to give forgiveness to the student loan? They're going to fight like hell. Oh, yeah. They're going to fight. They're going to fight really hard. And for me, they'll be considered to their own people. And that's what the American people are going to begin to realize. You don't like us. That's why, you know, when they pass those bills, you never get the breakdown.
No.
You never hear that they gave 50 million to Israel. You never hear that they gave 30 some odd billion, no, 50 billion to Israel, something like 30 some odd million or billion. I'm sorry if I'm getting confused. We just saved so many people. Why are we so, and I understand the why. Please, I'm not being inconsiderate. I actually get it. But if you all don't understand that Americans need better assistance, then I'm sorry if I insulted someone out there. We need help.
Yeah.
And they keep acting like, the politicians keep acting like we're wealthy. We're not.
No. But the thing is, that's all our money. Like when I see that and I hear that, I'm like, that's our taxes. That's me paying into, okay. That's all my money. Can you give me back some of my money?
It's my money, my taxes. And Dr. Phil said, I get it, but take care of home first. If your husband went out there and took care of the world and came to you last with pennies, he would not be your husband.
No, he would not.
He wouldn't be my husband.
He sure wouldn't.
That's what the politicians are doing.
Yep.
So it's a very corrupt system that the American people have been ignorant against, and the changes that kept these incremental changes, it just kept becoming new like every 4 years. So the new group didn't know what the old group was going through.
Yep.
Right? And before you knew it, not only do you have 50,000+ student loans, but you're 50 years old. You graduated at 21, and you're still paying off student loans? Does that make sense to you?
Right.
And then if you be successful, you must have a house. What do you mean you don't have a house? We brought a house. Why don't you have a house? What do you mean you're driving around in a particular type? You're an executive. Why don't you have a nice car? So now we've got the nice car, right? That's a loan, right? The mortgage.
That's a loan.
That most minorities are priced out of. So if you wind up getting a mortgage, you're paying out your ass to live well. And then we have the student loan that can never be paid off. I'm appalled that there are 50-year-olds still trying to pay off their loan. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's that forbearance process. It's that, oh, you can't afford it? Okay, 6 months. Let's extend it. 6 months. And it truly goes off of your income. So you could do like an income repayment plan. And then 1 month, yeah, I can't afford that $200. And people are like, what do you mean? And go, okay, so that was the month my car needed to get fixed. Mercury retrograde was around the corner, and it's been, but that's what I'm saying. That's the energy. Sometimes people, they don't understand. Like they may have a partner, so they're able to pay more on the loan to pay it off. Or what was your financial economic status when you came in? How small of a loan did you take out? Hey, I come from a family of, debt slavery. Exactly. I come from a family of this many kids and we all went to college. So we all had to get loans. And, so like I've heard those conversations. People are like, oh, that's all you pay? You're lucky. And I'm like, no, see, I'm not lucky because I can't afford to pay more, because I can't afford to get out of this debt slavery. Thanks, Magical Mermaid. You know what I mean? And so the system itself has us in a chokehold. But it's so blasé, but it is what it is. But Spirit is literally letting us know it's going to be different. You don't know what it is yet, but it is what it is.
It's the same thing. You don't know yet, but it's gonna change.
Yes.
And these cards look very similar. Put your card up. It's very similar.
Yeah, it literally is like
looking.
it's like you're walking towards a door, you're walking towards a planet, you're walking towards an entryway to something, right? I pulled one of the last cards I pulled. For me, owl always is spirit. No matter what deck it's in, when I pull the owl card, that for me is spirit. This is wisdom beyond earthly understanding, right? Yeah. But time master, for me, this is what answered the question. It's gonna take time, but it will end, right? The time master is letting us know it's not gonna be tomorrow, or it may not even be 3 years from now, but that system will, when I say, I mean fully end. So we may be working towards it in progression, in steps, in increments, but one day we may see the end of a system that is set up how the educational system, especially the pay-for educational system, is set up now. It's like, why, even when you look at kids in Catholic school and public school, why are people paying for their children to go to a certain school, but that school still turns around and gets aid from the government? It does not make sense. Just because I can afford it.
Yes.
Right? And then now you're
top it off, tell the teachers, you know, let me throw money to the floor and you act like a bunch of dogs so that you could get school supplies.
Mm-hmm.
None of it makes sense.
No, or they send them a note to parents.
Credit to what you were saying, that a decision will be made. I do agree.
Mm-hmm.
Although this is a male here, I'm kind of getting this as something to do with the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm. But there are also women on the Supreme Court, Tracy.
What's that card?
That's the Queen of Pentacles.
Queen of Pentacles?
Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're also, and for me, it's just how her third eye is lit up.
I love that.
And so it's like, I feel like the masculine energy will be fighting the change, and the feminine energy, whether the feminine energy is going to show up in a man or a woman,
right,
they'll be the one championing the change.
Right. That's why I got this as the Supreme Court. It looks like a man, but it just looks like, remember I said this is going to get out of hand, and then people are going to be like, you know, I don't care. And I think rather than the president making a decision, good or bad, I feel like it's going to have to be a joint, collective reasoning as to why some changes need to be made.
Yep.
But chaos, you know, and so many of y'all say, I don't say it, but so many of y'all say the tower isn't always a bad thing, right? I don't believe that. I believe you have to fling some shit to the wall.
Yeah.
To the point where you can't clean it up. So the way I kind of see it, Cola, the tower, I really feel like there's going to be constant protesting. Yeah. Kind of like in China.
Yeah, so funny you said that.
Constant resistance.
What does this firecracker look like, though? Look at the actual fire. Hold on. Find it.
Right.
That looks like a Chinese structure, no?
Yes, it is. That's very symbolic. Either July 4th or, you know, okay.
But there's going to be excitement.
Said, I think just to add insult to injury, we are at our Pluto return.
Yes.
And interesting enough, the way we began this is how our Pluto return is finishing it.
Yes, it is.
So we didn't start well.
We didn't start well, but this new beginning that's coming, to your point, right? That the tower, for me, I understand the tower needs to happen, but and when the tower happened, it's Look what you made me do. This is messy. But I had to sling shit, like you said, in order for you to realize you don't want to be in this house anymore. You don't want to be sitting on this toilet anymore because the last person that came in here just wiped shit all up and down the wall. So what are you going to do? How are you going to change? Right? And so even if the tower comes in like a wrecking ball and just shit up, at the end, the tower's purpose was good.
Yes.
It was beneficial.
Yes. And my end, I keep getting galactic energy, but of course I don't know what that means. And so ultimately, I think they're going to turn their back on the system and a whole new eclectic, spiritual, universal thought process is going to come through, and it won't stop. Like this is going to be a new educated philosophy, I think.
Yeah, it's like, how do you know that? Don't people are going to ask people, well, how do you know that? Huh?
How much more time is it? 2026?
So we have four or 3 more years. Because if it's 2026, we're in 2022. That's 4 more years.
Oh my God, that's such a long time. I'm telling you, 4 years can break down a whole system.
Yeah.
See what COVID did in just 2 years. And here's the thing, which because didn't say that, but it's going to fall with the education system is going to, the financial aspect of the education system is going to fall with the banks. And I think you said that earlier. You said something about a whole new banking system. It kind of like pancakes.
Yeah, domino. That's how they've, and that's why when I went with the cobweb, right? For me, it's saying, you guys, it's like they casted a net for years thinking they're trapping us. Got you in our grasp. And then it's like, spirit, that outer worldly force, right? Spirit, that galactic force is like, no, I got you in my trap because you're not protected.
Point, Cola. Now I think I get it, but I heard it through you. What if everyone becomes so zen and so spiritual that their eyes are wide open, and that's the change? Where you're like, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna be happy. What if that's like, imagine just being around just nice people. I personally can't imagine it, like Martin Luther King, right? I may not get there. I think I would have been useful in bringing that change about. But I think that's what's going to happen. If there's this whole spiritual Zen type of healthy, giving nature, which is what God always wanted anyway. And then when you see that come through, it's going to be like, no, I'm going to help my fellow man. Right? Or maybe the education's going to come from a community place and not from an assistance that you have to learn it this way. Right?
They could say, hey, if you're
survive in school right now because nobody's listening to them. Right. I think I was talking to, I'm not going to mention names at this point, but it's like they're full of anxiety. If I got to send my kids to school full of anxiety, I need a new system. I think it's all going to break down until we're all spiritual and we're going to demand that it breaks
Because this school system can't be in place when the galactic babies start going to school.
Good point.
It can't be
They
here.
won't be able to handle the 2019 system. They're not made for it.
No, they're not. Because they're already coming to this world knowing the things they need to know. The veil of forgiveness is like it's like God removed the veil of forgiveness. Because
I mean, just imagine if you get to go to school because your neighbor next door is teaching your children.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way I see it. And just imagine if their break is because you're the one that brings them outside and plays. Imagine a community where we give up the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, now that I'm talking about it, because the more I talk, the more the downloads come. I wonder if that's what COVID is trying to tell us when she said, shut the schools down.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not raising, you know, an uneducated section of kids. I want them to be calmer, nicer. You know, I don't want school shootings. Like, what if that's what COVID is trying to say? Like, you've got to come up with a better system. I just think whatever's about to happen is going to be a good thing. I think America's going to pay for it, but I think it's going to be a good thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta. It brings me back to the oh spirit. It brings me to American Gods and what the African god Anansi. The scene where he's on the boat. He shows up. They're all in shackles, and he shows up in a 3-piece purple suit out of nowhere. But they know it's Anansi. They know it's Anansi because these people know who their god was, who one of their gods were, right?
Right.
And Anansi was like, let me tell you what you're about to go through.
Yeah.
You're about to go through years of slavery. You're about to go through, and he walks everybody on the ship through slavery, and they're just like, and then the one guy looks nervous, and he all of a sudden turns like, he gets it. He's mad. Gotta get mad. When you get mad, you fuck shit up. And that's what we've been talking about, like spirits, like that's it.
That's called American God?
It's called American Gods. Yeah, the show's called American
Gods. Is it a series or a movie?
It's a series. It's on Stars. And I feel like the
one of Stars is hooked up with one of channels. But let me bring out another point now that I, you know what the chaos is going to be like in terms of you better do it our way. You better do it, put you in jail, right?
Yeah.
When the kids started streaming years ago.
Yeah.
And they put those poor kids in jail for pirating and stuff like that. And look at here, look what we have today, streaming big, because they lost. They lost at the change. It's almost, if I go back further where people can understand it better, it's prohibition. You can't drink, they lost. That's what the education system is going to wind up being. Is it going to be rough with the tower and making you feel responsible for an antiquated system and getting penalized or arrested? Yeah, all those things might come. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
They're going to try to mark your child as truant and try to pull anything out.
I think they're going to go after the parents.
Yeah.
By the time this ends, you're going to have parents that the politicians aren't feeding. What happened in Texas last year? They froze.
Yeah.
And Cruz went on a trip. So my point to you is, it's going to change. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to change. All right. Are we good?
I'm good. Yep.
An hour and a half went by, and I didn't even know it.
No, I
Thank
didn't
you,
even
Lola.
either. No, I honestly, I appreciate this. This was fun. Thank you guys on YouTube. I can't see anyone, but thank you for spending the night with us. And hopefully we do what Spirit wants. He wants us to F it up. So let's do it.
Beautiful Conundrum said the reading was so good. Thank you, guys. I was uncomfortable, and I just love that if you just trust Spirit, trust Spirit when you do your reading, and everyone just trust what's coming through the person with Spirit. How can they reach you?
So I am on Instagram as the Kinky Witch _tease, and it's KINKII. So it's like kinky, like KINKII. So the Kinky Witch _tease. _T, yeah, because I call myself the metaphysical tea maker.
On IG.
On IG, yeah.
Somebody can put that in the feed, please. The Kinky KINKII. _T. Lean on me. Yeah, that's what the community is going to start. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be happy if they take that. All right. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
I thank you. And this was good.
I know. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye, guys.
Oh, hold on. No, Magic Mermaid. You just make up things. Kinky T _T. I just want to get it up here before. Try. Give me the EA, Magic Mermaid. Oh, she must have thought it was Kinky T with the letter E. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Magic Mermaid. I know you tried. Just follow. Brittany said she just followed you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I also have so I'm a part of a podcast. We call ourselves the Coven of Two. We have a podcast. It's also linked under the Kinky Witch Tease. Like I said, I consider myself the metaphysical tea maker. Well, Spirit told me that, but hopefully I'll be doing my herbal apprentice with Ifashay. I could start it soon, and that way I could really get into it.
Get into what? I missed it.
Just like making teas how Spirit wants me to make them. Right now I have a couple recipes that was channeled to me, but when I speak with Spirit, it's like this understanding of needing to understand herbs and their connection to the stars and the elements. And it's, I used to be like, oh my God, Spirit, I feel like I'm all over the place. And one day it's like, no, every herb has a connection to a planet and a earth energy, whether it's wind magic, earth magic, fire magic, air, and
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Spirit, I see it. It took me a while, but now I understand it.
The gift of spirituality. It's all about expanding. There's, you're always going to get someplace else.
Yeah.
Because spirituality is expansion. Religion is containment. One of my neighbors today, he was like, we were talking about washing clothes and ironing, and I go, I never iron. I don't know why I talk to people, but I do. I was like, I never iron. And he goes, never? And he goes, well, me neither. And he goes, well, I actually do. To go to church on Sundays. And I was like, I don't go to church. He goes, okay. And he goes to walk away, comes back, and he goes, why? And I said, we're in a pandemic. You're not supposed to be in church. And so he got it. And then he switched it all around. He goes, it was like, I said, it's not against God. And he goes, oh, it's you. But he didn't mean it in a bad way, but he kind of like,
Yeah.
he just wanted to make sure I didn't hate God.
It's like, just to confirm, you believe in him, right?
Wait. He needed me to believe in him. And I'm like, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody thinks of me.
Nope.
Like, I'm actually very proud to say, nope, don't go to church. Yep. And people are like, and I'm like,
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like,
no.
Yeah. How's it working for you? You still uninvolved, still
Is
bitter,
it really
still
working
mad?
for you?
Yep. I was like, I don't go
All
to
right,
church, and I speak to God every day.
Exactly. That's the difference.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, I go to church in my living room. But, you know, to explain that to the contained mind,
they won't get it.
It's exhausting. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love you guys.
Love you. Goodbye.
Good health. Bye.
Good health.